Hi everyone, welcome to today's Focus 10 to 13 with me. My name is Seán. I work in Milano, the school on Via Meravigli, and I am from Ireland, and I have been in Italy since September. And today I am joined by the lovely Michelle. Michelle, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle. I am a teacher with Sean in Milano Meravigli. I'm Pakistani, but I've been living in Milan for about 3 years now. It's been a while. And Sean, you forgot
Yeah.
to mention something. You're half Italian, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I don't feel very Italian in Italy, but yes, my father is Italian from Italy, so yeah, I am half Italian.
Right, and it comes out when you say meravigli because you say it so beautifully.
It's a tricky one to pronounce. The GLI sound, I think, is difficult, isn't it? I have to
Good.
concentrate.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. We
Mm,
already have a student joining in. Hello, Marco. How are you?
yes. And we also have
So,
Elena from Bari. Great.
so wherever you are, if you're watching, write to us. Let us know your name and where you're from, and keep chatting with us. And because this is a fun exercise, it's really interactive. So hopefully, the more you participate, the more fun we can have together.
Yes, absolutely. And Mary from Naples. Mary's been in a few of these. I remember the name because it's English. Anyway, so just to discuss what we're doing today while you introduce yourselves, in this focus activity, making generalizations, gender and cultural differences, adverbials for making generalizations. How would you define a generalization, Michelle?
Hmm. A generalization, that's a good question. A generalization is a general statement that you could make, but it's a statement that you've made from specific cases, and you're then applying that to everyone. For example, if I say "Mm, all Italian grandmothers are great cooks,"
Hmm,
right? Now, in
yeah,
my own experience, I have met Italian grandmothers who are fabulous cooks.
yeah.
But that's probably not true for all Italian grandmothers,
I
right?
don't know. I think it might be a fact, to be honest.
Maybe that's a bad example.
Okay.
Okay, so all Italian grandmothers are in fact very good cooks.
Yes. But it's a good example anyway. It's something that cannot be 100% true, but for the most part is true, I would say. Yeah.
Ah, Mary.
Her name is not Mary, it's Maria Giovanna. That's okay.
The
My
lie,
name,
the
you know,
deception.
my name in Italian is Giovanni because Sean is John in
Mm,
Irish, and John is Giovanni or Gianni in Italian. Do you know what your name is in Italian?
Michelle.
Okay.
Michele. Michela.
Michele is a boy's name. I don't. Michaela, yeah, I guess. Michelle is nicer, I think. Okay, we'll get going.
Hmm.
So, making generalizations, how strongly do you agree or disagree with each statement? Can you read the statements, please, Michelle?
Absolutely. In most cases, men are more aggressive than women. Women are generally more intuitive than men. Men find it more difficult to express their emotions than women most of the time. On the whole, women are more interested in long-term relationships than men.
Hmm. So we'll discuss these, and everyone can write their opinions in the comments while we do that. Do you agree or disagree? Also, I think important for the lesson is note the phrases we use to make generalizations. In most cases, generally, most of the time, and on the whole.
That's an
So,
important thing to remember, right? How you make the generalization, the
mm,
vocabulary you use.
yeah, because if you don't add that part of the sentence, I think it can be quite offensive to just make a statement like that. Anyway,
Absolutely. Okay, what do you think, Sean? In most cases, men are more aggressive than women?
um, I disagree with that. I think men and women are aggressive in different ways. I think men maybe are more physical, more direct, but I think
Mhm.
women have as much of a propensity to be aggressive. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think both men and women can be aggressive. Um, but I think that the reason sometimes people say things like this, that men are more aggressive than women, just because men tend to be bigger and stronger generally.
Mm,
So it's just more fearful when they're aggressive, right? Because someone who is 100 pounds coming at you, you're not going to be too worried.
yeah,
That's
I mean, it's a
someone
biological
who,
fact. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I do agree with you that men and women are equally aggressive, and in different ways.
Hmm. Yeah, great. Do you think women are generally more intuitive than men?
I do agree with this one.
Mm,
I think women tend to be more intuitive, more sensitive to their environment, and therefore they tend to be more intuitive. What do you think, Sean?
yeah, I mean, a lot of these things, I don't know that it's necessarily innate or, something. I think it's just the way society teaches women to behave and men to behave. Women are taught to be more caring, be more attentive, more intuitive, I think. Do you think it's something that's taught or something that's just innate?
I think it's probably a mixture of both, because I do think men can be intuitive as well, but they're not nurtured to listen to that intuition, whereas women are nurtured to be caregivers, to lean into the to those feelings.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
we have a few students. Alenia says, everyone is different no matter your gender. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Gender is irrelevant in most cases.
Yeah. So there's all about gender. Men find it
Mm.
more difficult to express their emotions than women most of the time.
Well, I think this goes back to the idea of toxic masculinity, right?
Mm,
Where men are taught to suppress their emotions, boys don't cry. That kind of messaging, I think, has a negative impact on men, and they aren't brought up to express their emotions or be vocal about how they're feeling. And even if you just run into a group of guys, group of friends playing around, if they're hurt, for example, physically or emotionally, they might not say it. Whereas women, if you're upset with your friend is going to find out about it.
yeah. Yeah, I think communicative, or at least taught to be more communicative. But I think it's interesting because in certain
Mm,
situations, it's the opposite. Like if you think about man flu, kind of the fact that when men are sick, They
Mm.
complain, they're more demonstrative about it than women who tend to just carry on. At least that's the generalization. So it's interesting in different situations. The reactions are different.
This is true. Have you ever experienced the man flu?
This is something that I hope that certainly I don't suffer from. I think that I tend to just continue on because when I was growing up, certainly my father, whenever he was sick, he was a bit of a man flu kind of person. And my mother was very critical, so I kind of said to myself, in the future, I'm not going to do that.
I wish my brother picked that up for my father as well and decided, no, this is not my path.
Yeah, it depends, you know.
So you're very stoic, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think that's, I mean, you're talking about men and women, but it's also, I think, part of, Northern European versus Southern European. Certainly in Ireland, we're much less ready to talk about being sick or needing help or things like that. We're much more private and we tend to just carry on. In Pakistan, is it like Italy or Ireland?
Like Italy. Pakistan is very similar culturally to Italy. In that the family unit is very similar. You don't really move out of your parents' house, and when you're 18, like you would in Ireland. You live with them until you get married, and then start your own family. That's when you leave, or you leave for work purposes. Like you leave the city. If you're in the same city, you're staying in the same house. That's the
Okay.
thing. So it's very similar that way, where the man flu is it's quite persistent.
Yes. Okay. So Elena has an opinion on
Mm,
emotions. Most of them don't want to express their emotions only because they are afraid of being considered weak. Yes, a perfect generalization. Because, I mean, it's impossible that all men are like this. I mean, I can think of some men that are very emotional
hmm.
that I have known and I have met. It depends a lot on your personality, how susceptible you are to societal pressure, I think.
Okay, the last one. On the whole, women are more interested in long-term relationships than men. So Marco says that broadly speaking, I'm not sure women are more interested in long-term relationships than men. Um, I think gender doesn't matter for this one. I think in today's day and age, some people are interested in relationships and some people aren't, and the gender is usually not a defining factor.
Yeah, I think maybe 50 years ago this was the case, but certainly today a lot of women are more interested in their career or things like that. It's changed.
It definitely has. Thank you for writing in, you guys, and if you have any other thoughts, write to us and we'll read it out loud.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely topics to discuss, so please participate. Anyway, so again, we can just talk more generally. What generalizations have you often heard about men and women? Try to use the following phrases for making generalizations. So the phrases we had before. Yeah, I think
Hmm.
really in the way we use them, all of those phrases mean the same thing, just in general, most cases.
Hmm.
So we have an example. In most cases, men make more money than women. Do you think that's true?
I don't know. In most cases, do men make more money than women? Now, here's the thing. So, dollar for dollar, men earn, women earn 75 cents to a dollar the man earns for the same post, same job, same education, same background. That's just what it is. So, unfortunately, I think this is true. It's an accurate generalization that men make more money than women. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if you're talking about the same jobs, yes, I agree. But I don't know about Italy, but in Ireland, I think the culture now is that women work harder in school, work harder in university, tend to try and go for better, more high-powered jobs. I think it's still more difficult for them. But on the whole, I think women have become maybe higher earners in better careers, at least in Ireland. What do you think?
I think it depends on each individual situation because the reason women work harder in school and work harder in university is because they need to prove that they deserve a seat at the table. So they tend to overcompensate so that no one can raise a finger at them. And when they do that, they tend to be very successful, just like any man would if he applied himself 100%. But there are still fewer women in positions of power or in positions which pay a lot. So while more women may be getting into the workforce, a very small percentage of them actually make it to that position where they're, earning more than men.
Yeah, yeah. So Mary thinks yes, men make more money than women. She corrected herself also. And Elena has a good example. Generally, women are considered bad drivers. Well, actually, I am. Do
I
you
have to
drive,
be
Michelle?
honest. I do drive, and I would not be considered a good driver.
Okay. I mean, if you think about insurance, it used to be the case that women had to pay less for insurance because they were generally safer drivers. But I
Mm,
don't know if safe is good in this equation.
Marco says, I guess the great difference between men and women's wages was more usual in the past. Let's see the couples, Ferrani and Fede, for instance. Well, that's a really good example. I'm really following them these days, but they're the exception to the rule. Women still make 75 to 80 cents on the dollar, whereas a man is paid $1, a woman is paid 80 cents. So we're still paid less because, we deserve those 20 cents. Just
Yeah,
saying.
I've heard some people who tried to explain the persistence of that difference in wages.
Mm,
And some people say, another generalization, it's because men are more likely to go for a job they're less qualified for, to ask for promotions and raises, and women are less likely to do that. Do you think that's the case?
absolutely. Absolutely. Look at Donald Trump. He went in charging for a job he was not qualified to do, and he won
Mm.
on the sheer belief he has in himself, in the sheer belief he has in himself.
Yeah.
And if I take nothing from Trump, I do take that. Self belief can get you places, my friend.
Yeah, and he was going up directly against a very experienced woman, so quite a good example there. Hmm.
What do you guys think? This is a controversial topic, but we would love to hear your opinion. What has your experience been? So please weigh in and let us know.
Hmm. We have some pictures there, I think, meant to suggest ideas. We have some shopping. Do you think
Mm,
it's true that generally women prefer shopping to men?
I do think it's true because most of the men in my life do not enjoy shopping. Most of my cousins, my father, most of them don't like shopping, but a few of them do. However, most women like shopping and a few don't. This is my experience.
Yeah, again, I think the culture comes into play because certainly in Italy, men are more interested in fashion and dress than they would be in Ireland. It's more normal for men to take an interest.
True, true.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, okay, what about this one? Broadly speaking, um, women are bad bosses.
I don't agree.
Have you worked for a woman as a superior?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a very serious or high-powered situation. It was just kind of a retail scenario. But
Mm,
I mean, here's another generalization. I think women are maybe better at administrative tasks, at organization, in my experience. I mean, so they make good managers and leaders in that kind of context. Do you agree?
I do. I do really enjoy having a woman as a boss, and I've been very lucky throughout my career. I've had some great bosses, men and women, but I haven't found either to be better or worse. But like we were saying before, women tend to be more sensitive to their environment, whether that's nature or nurture. The consequence is that you end up with a more sensitive superior. And that's always nice because they're aware.
Yeah. I guess maybe on the other side, the argument is that men being more aggressive means that they're better at leading a business or something like this. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know much about this.
What do you guys think? Any generalizations you want to bring up?
Hmm.
Let us know.
Yeah. Will we move along anyway?
Mm-hmm.
So, fill in the gaps to complete phrases for making generalizations, and then finish the sentences to make them true for you.
Okay.
So, you may or may not be familiar with these kind of phrases. So, for example, the first one, I'm pretty sure, I'm quite certain that
Mm-hmm.
Spanish food is something than other cuisines. The second one, Michelle, what do you think comes after broadly?
Broadly speaking, we just saw this.
Yes, definitely. The third one, on the whole, I think. And then the
Mhm.
fourth one,
In most cases.
yeah, definitely. And then finally, most of the time. So I'm pretty sure is a bit different to the other ones. I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure kind of means I'm certain or I believe. Um, so what do you think about Spanish food? Do you like Spanish food?
I do. I really like Spanish food. It's a close second after Italian.
Okay, okay. What do you think it is more than other cuisines?
It's tastier, more delicious, cheaper.
Hmm. I don't know why. The word that came to my mind was saltier. I have an
So
association with Spanish cuisine with it.
spicier.
Yeah, it is. It's spicier than Italian cuisine, I think, definitely.
Definitely.
It's not difficult, but
Spicier, more spice. So don't forget, guys, over here we are going to use comparatives because we have then other, right? So we're going to use comparatives here. Write to us and tell us your opinion. What do you think about Spanish food, Mediterranean cultures, Americans, etc.? Okay, Elenia says she doesn't know because
yeah,
she's never tried it. Um,
really, not once. No Spanish food.
Spanish food is very cheap in Spain, but it's very expensive in Italy.
Okay, okay,
Good
okay.
Spanish food. Um, because, okay, so Marco is participating. He says Spanish food is better than other cuisines. Fantastic work, Marco. Next, he says, broadly speaking, Mediterranean cultures are more. Okay, that was for part one. What do you think? What would you say?
I'm
You have a
I'm
little bit
going
of
to
both.
I'm going to say something that might be a bit controversial.
Mm.
That's positive about Mediterranean cultures for me.
Hmm.
Broadly speaking, Mediterranean cultures are more honest than Northern European cultures.
Really? How so?
Because certainly I think Ireland and Britain and other countries, we have a reputation for being very polite and maybe more open to different kinds of people
Hmm.
than Southern Europe. And I think in terms of, just going down the street, that is true. It's easier to be a bit different.
Hmm.
But it's just, I think that in Southern Europe, they're more honest, they're more direct, they're more open. And in Northern Europe, they have the same opinions behind closed doors.
That's a
So I
refreshing
think,
point of view.
yeah, because I think sometimes people are very dismissive of Mediterranean cultures as discriminatory or rude, but I don't think it's the case. What do you think about
Yeah,
Mediterranean cultures?
I love the Mediterranean culture. I think they're
Hmm.
friendlier, right? Because I lived in London for a bit,
Yeah.
and what I took away from there was that not only is the weather cold, but so are the people. And
Yeah.
so, what I would say as Mediterranean cultures are more warm, are more friendly, than Northern European
Mm.
cultures. Because I remember my first day in London, I moved for uni, so I had a massive suitcase with me. And the only person who helped me with that suitcase, which was like bigger than I was this Italian man. He was a musician and he helped me just like grabbed it and he helped me pull it up the stairs. So, yeah, I like the Mediterranean
That
people.
that is totally unsurprising to me because do you know something? When I moved to Milan, I had a big suitcase and someone offered to help me. And I said, "No, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to steal my suitcase?" I was like, "This is bizarre. Who does that?" But I think he was just trying to help.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing, right? Over here, people are so warm and they want to come and help you immediately. But over there, if someone is nice to you, your first reaction is, what do you want?
Yes. Warm-hearted is good, isn't it?
That's really good, Elenia. Mediterranean cultures are more warm-hearted than Northern European cultures. That's perfect.
Yeah, great compound adjective.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have American and the British.
What do
What
you
are your
guys
thoughts?
We can ask Sean, who's Irish. Sean, what do you think about the British?
Well, in Ireland, we don't have a very high opinion of the British. We had a lot of conflict with them, but we don't really have a high opinion of Americans either. I mean, it's the same with the British in Pakistan, no?
Yep, absolutely. They colonized us and left a brutal legacy behind. Okay,
Yeah,
Elenia.
same here.
Elenia says Americans are more easygoing than the British. I agree. What do you think?
Hmm. Yeah, I think maybe, I don't know, it depends on your definition, because I do think Americans can be a bit intense. I do find Brits are generally more low key, certainly. And to me, the intensity of Americans kind of works against the impression of friendliness. But I'm not sure. I think certainly the way they speak is more relaxed than the way British people speak. There's a lot more slang and things like that.
Right, they're aggressively friendly,
Yeah.
whereas the
And
British are
very
more
more
polite.
positive.
Sorry?
More positive, much more positive.
They are very positive. We have Seth, who's basically a ray of sunshine.
Yes.
Okay, number 4. In most cases, women care more about blank than men. Okay, guys, let us know. What do you think women care more about? Sean, what do you think?
Well, we've been discussing women and men quite a lot, haven't we?
We have.
Um, I suppose women care more about, I don't know at this point. I mean,
Shoes.
yeah, shoes, certainly. That's just true. That's a fact, isn't it?
That is a fact. There are some men who love their sneaker collection, but those men, I haven't come across many of those kinds of men. But every woman I know, and again, this is my personal experience, has more than 5 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, I think I have two at the moment. One for summer, one for winter. But are you more of a shoes or a handbag type of girl?
Shoes. Shoes. Wow, I have a
Okay,
love
yeah.
affair with shoes. I have shoes here. I have shoes back in Pakistan. I have shoes in the loft upstairs. So, shoes. Anyways, what do you guys think? What do women care more about?
Yeah.
Or what do you think men care more about?
Sports.
That's a good one. Yeah. On the average, men tend to care more about sports than women. So that's another way you can say this. On the average. Ooh, body image. Elenia
Mm.
going deep. What do you think about that, Sean?
What do you I don't really agree. I think men are now so obsessed with going to the gym and getting bigger. It's almost at the same level as women wanting to be thinner now. Do you think?
I think that your I think what Elenia might be referring to is that women tend to struggle more with body image issues than men. You know, men are more conscious now and they're very metrosexual and they go to the gym and they work out, and they try to be healthy, etc.
Mm,
But a woman who goes to the gym and eats healthy, if she's not as picture perfect as as her Insta feed, she is more
mm.
likely to feel insecure about her body than a man is. What do you think, Lania? I feel you,
Yeah.
girl. I see you.
Exactly, Michelle. Yeah, I guess the difference is for women, it's much more unhealthy, the image, than that for men. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, most of
Younger
the time,
people and older people, what do you think?
prefer to party than older people. Because when I was
I don't
20, I
know,
was
some
all
older
about
people.
Saturday night. But like at 30, I'm just like, Saturday night. It's a different vibe.
Okay.
What about
Yeah,
you?
yeah, definitely. I think generally younger people prefer to f vote left wing than older people. I think statistics show that.
That's a good one. So are you left wing or right wing? Ooh,
Yeah, I guess I'm left wing, yeah. Well, it depends a bit on the issue, but generally,
right, generally speaking. Okay, so that's a generalization, right? Broadly speaking, I'm left
yeah.
wing, but I agree with some right wing issues.
Hmm.
What do you guys think? What do younger people like to do more than older people? Speaking of younger
Yeah.
people and older people, I saw something on TV. Elenia says, I'm not sure adults can be party animals sometimes. Yes, that is
Yeah. I
true.
think it's a lot of that is introvert, extrovert, you're always going
Mm,
to be an extrovert.
yep, that's true. But, while I can still party like a rock star, I cannot recover like one anymore. So,
Yeah,
so just by
that's
sheer
just
biology,
biology.
yep, just sheer biology, you gotta take it down a notch. But yeah, I have friends who have so much energy, you would think they're 15.
Yeah. Yeah, no, to the end, my grandmother in the nursing home, she was in a wheelchair, but she always said, "Oh, Sean, will you take me dancing?" I said, "Absolutely not."
That's so sweet. Elenia, I think younger people prefer to travel more than older people. What do you think about that?
I think maybe the style of travel is different. For younger people, maybe it's more adventurous, a bit cheaper, a bit more rough and ready. But older people love, cruises and retirement and things like that.
I think it also, like right now, the fact that we've grown up in the age of globalization, where everything is so close and travel is like second nature. And, like older generations, like even up to my parents and your parents, right, when they were our age, they didn't have this level of accessibility that we have.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Great. So we'll keep on going. How to speak generally.
Mm.
So change the general statements to, so we have just dogs are more affectionate than cats, and you have to add something to make it seem more general. So the first one, for example, in most cases, dogs exhibit more affection towards humans than cats. Okay, yeah, an interesting way of rephrasing that.
Hmm.
How would you rephrase cats are more independent than dogs?
I would say, on the whole, cats
Yeah.
behave more independently than dogs.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, generally they have here, but the meaning is exactly the same. Yeah, you see, the language becomes a bit more sophisticated when you generalize, I suppose.
It does,
Um,
because you're trying not to offend anyone, so it turns a little formal.
yeah, in English we love to get a bit polite, when we're trying to speak delicately.
Yeah, like when someone says, no offense at the beginning of a statement, you know what they're going to say is going to be offensive.
Yeah. You could have no offense in front of this one, so no offense, but Anglo-Saxon cultures, maybe by and large, I don't think we've had that by and large.
That's a good one.
Same as generally, have a more linear view of time than Mediterranean cultures, maybe a more linear relationship with time, something like that.
What
Yeah.
does that mean? A linear view of time.
I think it's more, this time is this time. If you're not here, you're late. Whereas, an Italian might say, we'll meet in the afternoon. Yeah, so,
I've fallen victim to that. When I was in Sicily, one day my boyfriend told me, "Okay, tomorrow morning we're going to go hiking, so wake up early and be ready." So I was up at 7. By 8:30, I was ready by the door with my backpack on. He comes down at
yeah.
10 a.m. and he was like, "I said morning. This is early. It's only 10 o'clock." And I was like, "No." I was up at 7. That was early.
Yeah, definitely. Now, this was a big issue in my parents' marriage because my mother is Irish. She has that kind of British view of time, and my father has a very much more relaxed view of time. And he's always late and things like that. And for him, it's not a big deal.
I
It
can
depends.
imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. I definitely
Yeah,
can. Right. So a linear view of time is when if you say 5 o'clock, you mean 5 o'clock, and you turn up right at 5 o'clock. But what the Mediterranean culture has, like, I'll see you around lunch. Like, you won't really specify an exact hour until, like 2 hours before. That's when you decide what time you're actually going to see each other. You just say at lunch, around dinner, after dinner. I struggled
yeah,
with that.
definitely. You did. Yeah, do they have the kind of British concept in Pakistan?
We do. Okay, so Pakistan is a bit weird this way. So we do have that very British concept of time, but we're habitually late, right? So
Yeah.
on a wedding invite, for example, the wedding invite will say 7:30, but no one will actually turn up before 9:30.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for parties, generally the rules are different, I
Yeah.
think. In Ireland, you're generally like a half hour late to a party, not 2 hours, but it
No, we,
depends,
we can be up to 2 hours late, but business-wise, we try to be more British-like.
Hmm. Now, Italians, even in business situations, I think, are much more relaxed. It's really the whole culture.
Yes, yes. The first time I worked in an Italian office, it took me a hot minute to get used to that.
Yeah, a hot minute, that's a great phrase. A little while,
Ooh.
yeah.
Okay, Americans are less formal than the British. Do you agree, Sean?
Yeah, I think it's hard not to. I think certainly the students tell us all the time that certainly I've been told that I seem more formal than some of our American colleagues.
Yeah, I agree. As an objective third party, I agree.
Yeah. What about dogs and cats? Do you prefer dogs or cats, Michelle?
Dogs. I'm a dog person, but I personally think that if I was to be an animal, I would be a cat.
That's interesting. So you like the opposite energy that a dog can bring.
Yeah, I love the energy that a dog brings, but let's be real, I don't have that kind of energy.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm a cat person, and I think if I was an animal, I'd be a cat. And
Cats
I
live the best lives.
Yeah, they do. They're very relaxed, always having a good time. Yeah. And I think it's very easy to generalize about cats and dogs because they're less complicated than human beings, I think.
Absolutely. What are your favorite animals? Do you prefer dogs or do you prefer cats? Let us know.
Yeah, please keep the comments coming and we'll keep moving along. Okay. We want an example with a hot minute.
Oh, a hot minute. Okay. For example, it's been a hot minute since I've been outside.
Yeah.
Meaning it's been a while,
Yeah,
a
I
few
think
days.
there's an implication of, God, I wish I only could go outside with a hot minute. It's a bit sassy, let's say.
Yeah, so it's slang. Definitely don't use this in your emails. Do not tell your boss you'll see him in a hot minute. Don't do that.
Been a hot minute since you replied.
But you could tell your friends, suppose your friends are when things go back to normal, your friends will be waiting for you at the bar and you'll be on your way, either you're driving or you're taking the bus. And your friends will ask you, hey, where are you? And then you can say, I'll be with you in a hot minute, a little while.
Yeah. Good stuff. So now even more generalization phrases in case you didn't have enough. So 90% of the time, the majority of, more often than not, I tend to, I know it's a generalization, but. So the last one, kind of excusing yourself for speaking so broadly. So
Mm.
practice these phrases, generalizing about the weather this time of year and what you do in the morning. So very neutral subjects. So Michelle, the weather this time of year.
Um, More often than not, it tends to be raining this time of the year, right? It's just
Yeah,
about the start of spring, and spring in Milan is wet and windy.
yeah, definitely April showers, yeah.
Okay,
Um,
what do you do in the
for what
morning?
you do in the morning, yeah. I tend to stay in bed all morning, not just during the quarantine, in general, if I have the opportunity.
Nothing like a good sleep, a good night's sleep, a good morning sleep. When you wake up in the morning and then you go back to sleep, either your alarm rang earlier or you just woke up earlier, and then you go to sleep and wake up at your usual time, that little nap you take in the middle is so good.
Hmm. I never have any issue going back to sleep.
That's amazing. Elenia says the majority of Italians, when waking up in the morning, don't want to talk to anyone.
Hmm. I think that's everyone now. Are you a
That's
morning
true.
person, Michelle?
Not really, no. You need to give me a solid hour with my coffee and the news to kind of wake up, and then I'm fine.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Elenia, how about
Okay.
you? What are you like in the morning?
Yeah, let us know. For the weather in Ireland, I would say
Mm-hmm.
90% of the time, the temperature is below 15 degrees year round. Isn't that miserable?
That's cozy.
In August, every point in the whole year.
So when does it get hot? Do you have four seasons?
No, Ireland is actually really unusual. We have less four seasons than really cold places like Russia or Sweden. We don't have a summer. It's the same as autumn or spring. Winter is a bit colder, but no.
Wow, that sounds almost Scandinavian.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not so far away.
So we have Maria Giovanna. She says, I can't even be considered a human being before 12 p.m. Elenia says she enjoys reading mails in the morning. You're a productive
Mm.
girl.
I couldn't look at my email before
Before
coffee.
coffee, no, 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 no. I
No.
can barely look at
I
myself.
Yeah. I'm so bad that I have to prepare the coffee the night before so that it's ready for me when I get out of bed because I cannot physically make it. It's just I'm not bothered.
Need a caffeine drip the next time. Just right
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. Right beside the bed, into my arm. Yeah, so we're nearly up for time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the main point today is trying to remember and use all of these phrases. Maybe just remember, two or three I think broadly speaking, more often than not, things like this. Yeah, most
Mhm.
of the time on the whole. Anything to add, Michelle?
No, that's about it. I think as long as I'm sure you guys already know generalizations, and we just have these phrases, and like Sean said, it's just about picking up a few and using them accurately. And other than that, guys, have a great weekend. I know you're probably stuck indoors like us, and I hope you find something to entertain you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
have a great
joining us.
weekend.
Thanks for interacting, guys.
Bye.
Bye.